American academics have a challenge to remain relevant. This is because the American society is a culture that does not value intellectuals. It is not like France. Intellectuals are not a cherished aristocracy in our society. They are sometimes isolated in their own ivory tower. It is very easy for some of them to just talk to one another in collaboration through their own lectures, through their own books, through their own mediums, and lose sight of what is the relevance of what they are doing for the broader public. This is not a discourse to castigate these individuals, but shed light on the matter. We often hear this complaint, but do not take action. Since it is an issue that is difficult to resolve because of its magnitude, it is appropriate to begin on a localized level. Introspectively speaking, research for the sake of research was my mindset. I struggled with this ideology as I remember what my father once said to me as a child: "To whom much is given, much is required." I now hold the responsibility of being a language broker between academia and my community. It is very easy for some of them to just talk to one another in collaboration through their own lectures, through their own books, through their own mediums, and lose sight of what is the relevance of what they are doing for the broader public. This is not a discourse to castigate these individuals, but shed light on the matter. We often hear this complaint, but do not take action. Since it is an issue that is difficult to resolve because of its magnitude, it is appropriate to begin in a localized level. Introspectively speaking, research for the sake of research was my mindset. I struggle with this ideology as I remembered what my father once said to me as a child: "To whom much is given, much is required." I now hold the responsibility of being a language broker between academia and my community. My current linguistic register is endemic to the university, and those who do not have the privilege to acquire this language proficiency are lost in translation. In the eyes of the broader public, this language is analogous to an incantation and perceived as bombastic. Despite this realization, both parties continue with the current state of social class segregation. Social conformity is the culprit. How easily are we drawn to what tickles our ear and sounds like great wisdom? Given the cultural sensitivity of my research, specifically the influence of Christian religion, it is necessary for me to break the taboo of the somewhat cultural suppression present when discussing religion, especially in many academic institutions. This holds true in action research. What is action research? Action research is a methodology that recognizes that the researcher, as a fellow human being interacting with others within a social context, is necessarily an implicit part of the research. It is also a cyclical, reflexive process that advocates continued learning and development. I have prepared this proposal in the first person, which illustrates the transparency of my subjectivity in this process and the benefits of its subjectivity, and also allows for my ongoing reflection on my actions throughout the action research process. In my current study, I formatively evaluated a nonprofit Christian-based agency called Cloud and Fire Ministries Youth Build Program. Stringer's action research approach, look, think, and act, was the model for evaluation. This simple but highly effective model for approaching action research builds a picture and gathers information, look, while interpreting and explaining what is happening, think, and resolving issues and problems, act. The looking process in this study consisted of a community assessment of the city of Van Nuys, California, through their use of geographic information systems. The thinking stage is currently taking place, which involves demographic surveying, focus groups, and surveying of factors affecting school performance. The focus groups will be conducted with participants to determine which parts of the program are most effective, what they learn, and how to improve the program. The purpose of this research is to facilitate this organization by providing a structural way to evaluate the program. The end result of the study is to produce an active voice for the stakeholders, in other words, acting on the issue at hand. This longitudinal study goes beyond the traditional research focus on how things are happening and focuses on what is happening. What is Cloud and Fire Youth Build? Cloud and Fire Youth Build was established in 2009. It is a 6 to 24 month program. It is a full-time program that consists of job skills training and alternative schooling. Its new current location is at Van Nuys. There has now been a dramatic increase of members, hence the new Youth Build location at Van Nuys. The main concern with the agency is the identification of its strengths and weaknesses. This information is something that they would like to acquire from its stakeholders, specifically through a program evaluation. Cloud and Fire Youth Boat is affiliated with Youth Boat USA and in cooperation with AmeriCorps. Given the fact that Cloud and Fire Youth Boat is now located at Van Nuys, I made sure to conduct a community assessment using the Geographic Information Systems via the 2008 census data. City of Van Nuys, 60% are Latino, 23% are white, 6% are Asian, 6% are black, 4% are other. The median age is 28 years old, median household income is 41 grand, average for Los Angeles, low for the county. 73% rented housing, 26% owned housing. A majority of the community of Van Nuys have attended but not completed high school. Over the last 3 months, Van Nuys averaged 6.5 violent crimes, 45.5 property crimes per week. Aggravated assault and theft are the most common crimes. For Cloud and Fire to be successful, they need to adapt to the changing environment. Approaching this problem from a macro lens will limit my holistic understanding of Youth Boat, which is why I collected demographic information from the Cloud and Fire Youth Boat students and in the process of conducting focus group sessions. The following video shows some of the responses that may take place during the focus group sessions.
I changed my whole act. Like, I help people now. My name is Steven. I lived in North Hills my whole life. I'm 18. But mostly, like, I grew up with gangs, you get me? All my older brothers have uncles, my dad, all in gangs. My older brother is in prison his whole life. I talk to him over the phone and he goes, don't do none of this stuff. Look where I'm at. And look at our uncles. I have 3 uncles that are dead. They're executed. All 3 of them. I was just a bad student. I messed up from middle school. I was like doing drugs, getting into gangs, just everything. You get me? Like, all went downhill. Cause it's just cause my dad passed away for drinking. I think that's what got me. You get me? Like, not having a father.
I think about my future now. Well, my name is Charles and I'm 21. It was like around 14, like in high school. I dropped out. My mom and my dad had recently divorced. We needed help at the family, and then, you know, all I knew was to sell drugs too. So all that selling drugs, you know, being from a gang, getting respect, selling all this stuff. It's a family, you know. A lot of people think that a gang is just like, oh, it's just like a group of guys, but it's not, because you grow up with them and you know them. My dad really didn't care because, you know, he had his own little thing going on. He's homeless, somewhere in the streets, drinking alcohol, still probably being a bum. As a Hispanic and living in the neighborhood, that's all I knew. Shooting people, you know, doing drive-bys. I used to love that stuff. Well, I got friends that now are doing life, and you know, I still think about them. Big chaos is like murder and stuff, attempted murder. So many times I never got caught up, or I was never rolling with them at the time that they were doing that mission, you know. So I feel lucky. All the guys I grew up with, are doing life. You can't just say you're not in it no more, because all hell's gonna break loose, man. I'll tell you that right now. If you stay in your neighborhood and you say you're not gonna be gangbanging no more, oh man, you're gonna get shot, you're gonna get beat up, you're gonna get stabbed.
When you've lost the strength to laugh and the pit
For A, right? Okay, so here, it looks like you're dividing, but we don't need to divide.
I came here and then it just changed my life. I feel way better now. Way more hope, you get me? Getting my work done, learning job skills. I tell my family and they're teaching construction. I never had none of that, you know what I mean, when I was growing up. So I'm very proud of that.
They taught me so much. For example, let's say like if there was a wallet right there in the ground, and if it was me, I would just go through it and, you know, dig through it, and there's money, I would take the money and leave the wallet there. But Cloud Fire just taught me, like, you know, what doesn't belong to you is not yours, so give it back. Now my teacher and staff tells me that I got leadership skills, and you know, I told them that I don't really want those leadership skills because it's a lot of, you know, responsibility. So I was just like, oh no, I don't want those skills. But actually, I've been growing up on them a lot. So Clown Fight is just, you know, helping me out how to be a better man.
In my whole time I was born, I don't never think I'll do for like framing or none of that stuff. I only see it on the streets, but I'll never be one of those guys. And look at now.
I'm a better person. I'm better than doing drugs. I'm better than just going around people. I'm better living not that gang style of life. I'm better off, you know, being the person that I wanted to be, you know, that person that wanted to succeed. It's a good change. I like this change.